Hello, welcome to Great Body Bible demonstration videos. First video, demo 1, is legs put together. And as we begin, we see Julie doing what we normally use as a warm-up for legs. So one of 2 abdominal exercises, weighted sit-ups. We like weighted sit-ups because they tie in the hip flexors with the abdominals. Very important that for us that the body works together. So we use quite a lot of compound exercises, and this is as opposed to crunches for abdominals. We like to use, and we're aware that it works the hip flexors a lot, but the abdominals work quite a lot as well, or a hell of a lot as well. Julie uses quite a bit of weight. We have been training 34 years, but this is the only we do two abdominal exercises, maybe 3 sets, all the way up to showtime. Abdominals are one of those body parts that work on everything you do, really, as you tense, if your posture's good. And if you want to see them, you just really need to reduce body fat. Then we go on to seated calf raise. This is for the soleus, which is the muscle underneath the gastrocnemius, the main calf muscle. Always legs bent to work it. I would normally be helping Julie by putting the stand in for her, but because I'm actually holding the camera at this moment in time, she's on her own, bless her. We tend to do a very well balanced workout, and would recommend anybody do a well balanced workout. Don't miss anything out. The more variety you use in your exercises, the better for motivation and for development. And be as flexible as possible and open-minded about your leg workouts. The gym we're training here is very well equipped. It has 3 leg curl machines, which is great for hamstrings. This one's a standing leg curl. It also has a seated and a laying leg curl. This is a superset where Julie does her right leg, right hamstring, and then straight away does a set of lunges with the tied right hamstring, obviously, and then she'll do her left, and she'll alternate 3 sets with each, so she'll do 6 sets in total. We like to do supersets quite often close to showtime, to make sure, and 1 leg at a time, just to make sure that we've got good balance to our physiques. And also variety. When you're dieting, you do like a bit of variety. You like to change things about a little bit. It can get quite, if you're not careful, it can get monotonous. It never does with us. And now you can see quite clearly Julie's hamstrings working. This will be reasonably close to showtime. Julie tends to carry a little bit of water on the hamstrings normally. We're getting close to showtime, they appear, and there they are. We tend not to use too much weight on these initially, because 1, it's early in the workout, so we want to make sure that we're nice and warmed up, and 2, body weight is enough really if you're supersetting. Thing to remember is if you are a bodybuilder, in inverted commas, that you're not a weightlifter. It's not about impressing people with how much weight you can lift. It's about good form. It's about shaping your body. The term bodybuild for us means anybody, or includes anybody, that wants to change the shape of their body with nutrition and exercise, progressive resistance exercise. It can be an 80 or 90 year old that wants to maintain living tissue, or it can be a young boy just wanting to start gaining muscle as he gets past puberty. I mean, we bodybuilded, if you like, for almost 30 years before we ever competed, and even then it was just, for us, it was something to be ticked off our bucket list. Whether we'll ever compete again or not, we don't know, but we'll always be bodybuilders. It's a sport that you can do forever, and there aren't many sports that you can do at any age throughout your lifetime, and it's as beneficial as bodybuilding. I'm going to use the term body boosting, bodybuilding, progressive resistance, weight training, whatever way you package it. Everybody's doing the same thing: changing your weight, changing the shape of your body with weights and nutrition, putting yourself back in control, really. And you watch these demonstration videos, and it might look like we're not having fun. We both really enjoy our workouts. I'm going to speak for Julie because obviously she's busy at the moment, and it is the most rewarding thing. It's something you can do maybe in stressful times in your life when everything else is unpredictable. You can go to the gym, you can do your own thing, you can have some time with yourself, you can turn it into a meditative experience. It's something that's quite consistent in your life. That doesn't mean not to change your workouts and use variety. It means that it's there and it's always there and it's reliable. And it's quite a good role model. What you do in your fitness and exercise life and nutrition life will stand you in good stead if you follow that criteria. It's attitude, it's your body follows your mind. Same with nutrition. The weakness is your mind. If you train your mind, your body will actually do exactly what you want it to do, or what your mind wants it to do. There's much more to this than exercises and nutrition. It's mind, body and soul. The gentleman there is he always asks us questions and watches and I don't think I've ever seen him do anything that he asks us questions about, but he's an interested guy, and we chat to anybody and quite happy to give advice. Whether people take advice or not is entirely their affair. This now is a seated leg curl. It looks like some sort of torture contraption. The first time you ever use one, take the time to fit yourself into the machine to your size, so that the back slides in and out, so your knees are level with the pivot, the rollers slides in. Once you get it sorted, remember where it is, and then each time you get to it, you'll be able to pop into it quite quickly. It's a very effective leg curl machine, and this is supersetted now with straddle squats. We love straddle squats because we can take the dumbbells to the other leg machine, so it's nice and close for supersetting like we're doing now, which is grouping 2 exercises together. Julie uses that's about 60 or 70 kilo dumbbell. The biggest problem Julie has is not leg strength, it's hanging onto the thing. Just your fingers underneath there, it's quite heavy, but it gets a nice deep squat. She's had literally seconds, so there's no recovery between the 2 exercises, which is quite crucial. So that's why we do quite a lot of straddles, because you can move a dumbbell wherever you like and superset, and you get a good range of motion, and there's not a fear factor of I've got a bar on my shoulder, what do I do? You're just training your legs. If it gets too much, you put it down. I guarantee you Julie's legs, these are effective workouts. Quite getting near to show time as well, and this will be quite close to a show. We tend to train faster, more activity, more movement, because it's all about burning calories, maintaining muscle. So what we do is we get a lot of work into a short space of time. At this moment in time, we were walking to the gym. The gym was about 3 miles from our home. We'd walk 3 miles, train, walk 3 miles home. We'd take the dogs out 3 times a day. We ride our bikes, just stay active. And then we didn't do any specialist cardio at all. We didn't need to. We had so much activity. And again, this one is our favourite start exercise. So either this, or you'll see later that we do a hanging leg raise as another one, which is another compound exercise. It involves abdominals and uses your hip flexors to warm up. See, because I'm holding the camera, I'm not much help when she finishes and they've got the weights on her chest. I think I've rescued her by now though. Okay, this one is toe press. It's the same gym, although the equipment looks different. It's just out the back. It's a back room and a more hardcore room. And these are for calves. It's ankle flexion. It's squeezing them up as much as possible. We always have soft knees, not totally locked out. Get a good contraction on them. Work really hard, quite high reps. But Julie will do all of her sets. So she gets down there, she'll do a set, rest 30 seconds, another set, rest 30 seconds. That way we don't have to change the weight and we're not jumping in and out of the machine all the time. So she'll do 3, 4, 5 sets, and then I'll get down and do my sets. We do that when we can. It's just a more efficient way of working out. And her calves, Julie's calves, after 3, probably 5 sets, I'm guessing, will be absolutely fried. Very intense. A lot of work in a short space of time. A lot of time under tension. Very short rest in between sets. It almost turns calf work into cardio. When you train fast, you get a good heart and lung workout as well. Okay, this is called a leg sled. You'll hear it called lots of different things. If you call it a leg press, there'll be different angles. But these came in when the fitness industry started to boom. It's basically a squat. If you just turn that 90 degrees, you'd see it's a squat. It's good. The weight stacks are quite heavy. It's a reasonably safe exercise. It's quite intense on your legs. It's great for variety. And we quite often superset this with leg extensions and leg curls. So do a set of leg extensions to tie your quads, then get straight on and do a set of these, and you get a really good workout out of it, quite specific to your muscle groups. And obviously one of our favourites again, standing leg curl. The gym we're at the moment it only has a laying leg curl. It doesn't mean a hamstring suffer at all, because you get a lot of hamstring work out of leg presses and things like that. But doing variety is nice. It is nice to go to a gym that has more variety than the one we're currently at. But there's different reasons. We're training a couple of people at the gym we're at, and it's convenient for them, and we're not competing at the moment, so it's fine. It's a good gym. Very friendly people. I'm sure they appreciate our patronage. Looking at myself there in the mirror with a bald head with the camera. I've got the bushiest beard and the biggest head of hair at the moment. Looks like I'm looking at a stranger. What we'd be doing here as well is, although I'm filming, I'd be doing my set in between Julie. It looks as if I'm just watching her. I'd be doing my set between Julie doing hers. Julie loves leg workouts. Legs seem to be a higher priority for women in general, because I think they wear skirts more often than they do for guys. Julie absolutely loves legs, which is great for me, because then it motivates me to work legs harder. We do find that even when we work at clients we work with, a lot of guys don't like training legs. They like to. It's hard work. It's very hard work, and they kind of think that they won't get seen. But for us, balance is and we didn't compete until we'd been training for over 30 years. But the key is, with competition, it's not the person with the strength that wins; it's the person with the least weaknesses. So just a balanced workout is always a good idea. You feel better as well. And leg extensions this time, both legs at the same time. And this will be with the straddle squat that Julie does this time with the dumbbell, will be a closer stance. When we do quads, we always have a closer stance on the straddles, and then this will be followed by more leg curls with a wider stance for your glutes and hamstrings. Be good depth, good form, a heavy dumbbell again. There aren't many grandmothers, mothers of 3, grandmothers of 4, doing this in gyms up and down the country. But ironically, there's absolutely no reason why there aren't. It's just a state of mind. Julie's state of mind is, she doesn't even think about age. It's not something. She's a very positive person. I mean, when she does a posing routine in the shows, she stands on her head. It's quite an athletic posing routine. Age is only an issue if you let it be. It's only if you subscribe to you're supposed to be a certain way for a certain age, then hey presto, you'll probably be that way. If you just ignore it and do whatever you want, it's a much healthier outlook. And the issue is really, this is fantastic news, is that your body regenerates very, very regularly. I can't remember when you can even change your brain, neuroplasticity, where you change your thoughts and your brain, you actually end up with a more positive brain headset, and you have new bones and your muscles. And so the set of habits that got you to the body you are now, all you need to do is change the habits, and when everything regenerates, you'll have a different body. There's no ifs, buts or maybes. If you change your habits, you change the way you think, Develop everything. Develop your mind, your body, your soul, whether you believe in that you have a soul or not. It will follow, and it's a total package. If there is a secret to being in shape physically, it's being in shape mentally. I think is the key to it. The risk of sounding like a self-help book, there's a lot of sense spoken in those books, and there's a lot of science attached to them. So whether you need science or not, they're meeting now. The crazy self-help books, as people used to think of them, are now being proven to have some substance by quantum physics, for instance. Miracles happen. But not if you decide they're not going to happen for you. And the key is, never ever think anything's impossible, because that puts a limitation on you. So always believe everything is possible. That leaves the door open. And you will find that miracles happen regularly. These straddle squats are wider now because he's with the hamstrings. The form is good. Notice Julie doesn't stand all the way up, keeps the tension on, just stops just short and back down again. Do another set in a second. There's a Julie, when you look on Julie's face, is determination. She has a number that she wants to get, and she's been moving the weight up a little bit each time. So she knows what she's not lifting something too heavy. She's lifting something that she knows she can achieve. So she gets down there and it's like, okay, I know that this is going to be a challenge, but I'm going to get 12, 15 reps, whatever she set herself. If she got 12 easy, she'd probably go on to 15. If it's the last set, we like on the last set not really to get off thinking, oh, I could have done better, because then you should have done, really. And there's Julie's favourite heavy dumbbells again. She doesn't like them, but she can't hang on to them, because being a lady is, she hasn't got very big hands, and the grip is around the weight, slipping out just as she finishes. Very determined lady. Okay, now this one's a different gym. This is a Gold's Gym, which are an American brand. Normally a very well equipped gym. This is a very well equipped gym, lots of equipment. The exercise we're doing here is not something we do that regularly, and if we do it with a much lower step. And these are called bench squats. And what they're good for is, if you've not squatted before, you'll find it quite hard to go really deep initially. What this does, it governs your depth. But the key is just to kiss the bench with your bottom, not to whack it or destroy the bench each time you go down. It's just to touch it, and then what happens is you develop the depth, the spatial awareness, and it's just down, touch, back up again. So each rep is nice and consistent, and you go up and down in your sets. I think, for me, bench. Some people bench squat, and they always bench squat, and they always have bench squatted. But for me, we're right low on like a step bench that we use. But bench squats like this, I think you should outgrow it. You should get to the point where you want to go a little deeper. You should be going to at least parallel. Julie's high. This is high for squatting by our standards today. But she'll probably use more weight as well because of that. So we'll call that, for argument's sake, we'll call this a half squat, just in case any die-hard squatters are watching and thinking, that's not a squat, that's a half squat. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. And now this is a leg press. It's actually a Cybex leg press, I'm sure of it, they used to have there. Very smooth. Judging by Julie's stance, I would say that this is a heavy day today that we're doing. She always goes a little tiny bit wider on heavy days. We'll see. I think that yeah, this is a heavy day. You can tell by the respect she gives you on the way down. This is quite a heavy weight. It's great for pulling faces as well. You don't want anybody around with the camera when you're doing certain exercises. Before you know it, there's a charming face picture turned up on Facebook. And we're going up in weight each time. Julie gets up. I've known Julie get close to 500 kilos on this, which is ridiculous weight. But at the end of the day, I'll repeat, we're not weightlifters. It doesn't really matter. Every now and again you get carried away with certain exercises. You can either develop your ego or develop your body. Normally, if your ego wins, then your body suffers. That was a heavy set, by the way. Leg extensions again, 2 legs at the same time. What she'll do this time is Julie will use 2 dumbbells, and she'll stand closer together. Get just another bit of variety. So it's more like a deadlift come squat that she'll do. But again, when we do quads, we tend to start with our legs closer together, and then when we go to hamstrings, the superset will be wider. All of these exercises can be done straight sets, and what that means is you don't have to combine them like we are here. So you could do 3 or 4 sets of leg extensions, then do 3 or 4 sets of these. We call one set the combination. So leg extensions and squat. Julie's doing the second half of one set now. And the reason we like to train this way is, 1, it's very intense on your legs. 2, it gets your heart and lungs really going. It's just an efficient way to train, quite an advanced way. And you wouldn't superset every time you train, because you'd end up overtraining. Julie's always covered in bruises because she tends to walk into equipment all the time. In fact, so this is a different story. She fell off a bike. No, she didn't fall off of a bike. Somebody knocked her off a bike in a car the other day. She ended up fracturing her skull in 2 places. Her knee was massive and black and blue. She was covered in blood. She looked like a war victim when I went to get her. She went off in an ambulance. Next day she was back at work, believe it or not. She was once her bike got fixed, the wheel on the bike, she was back at the gym within 2 days. Just a really good attitude. And not a ridiculously, not an irresponsible attitude. An attitude that is, just get on with it and not making a meal out of everything. And I think that attitude has been enhanced by her weight training over the years. She's trained for over 30 years, Julie, and that's through having children and full-time jobs and full-time education, and she's always, nothing's ever suffered. Whatever people are, she tells them what she does, and it's like, ooh, it kind of wears out the people she tells more than it does her. It's just the way it is. She loves it. I remember her mum saying about how tired she'll get, because her mum gets tired. She goes out twice a week, I think. And mum's always tired, and Julie goes, yeah, I get tired and I go to bed and get up and I'm not tired anymore. The simple logic, you can't argue with it really. And it is a physical thing, but it all begins between the ears. We're out in the 0 point field. Okay, this is, remember talking about the laying leg curl machine. This is a hamstring machine. Again, but laying down. This used to be, was the only leg curl machine back in the day. The other 2 have developed as the years have gone by for variety. But everywhere you used to have a laying leg curl machine. Really, for a lot of trainers, quite an undignified position to be in the gym. I think the other one's developed as a way of attracting people that are not so fit and they really don't want to be laying on a bench with their arse in the air. I actually understand that totally. You see the tension now on the hamstrings, keeping it down, not letting them off until the end. hamstrings totally working all the time. And the finish. Excellent. Now we go to another heavy leg day, but this one is our abdominal warm-up. The other one I was talking about is a hanging leg raise. Tough exercise, really good for developing your abdominals, ties in with your hip flexors. Okay, we're actually making it look reasonably easy. It's not, it really is. We're already blowing after 3 sets of this, and this is just a warm-up for the leg session. It's tough. Gives you good abdominals though. And this is standing calf raise. Now, standing calf raise works your gastrocnemius, the calf, the main, what everyone thinks of as the calf. You can see it at the top there. And the soleus is coming up from the ankle, flaring out as you see. Okay, now we're doing single leg press. Quite intense single leg press. You'd be surprised how different it is to do them both at the same time. You have to stabilise the leg a lot more. There's no, and the leg has to work. It's not hiding behind the other leg. We found when we first started doing one-legged stuff, we had a strength imbalance, which this puts right. And then we warm up with the squats on a squat rack, which is what that is. We like to do our squats on a Smith machine, and you'll see the Smith machine in a second. And the reason we use a Smith machine is because you can stay upright. It's very safe. We stay nice and upright. And Julie does a full squat action. I stay down. I try and just do a partial squat at the bottom end, at the hard end. I found I get really good leg development out of staying, keeping the tension on. And that's it for legs for the first demonstration. Thank you very much.